question were we solving? Okay, later on. We'll solve question number 1. Question 1. An insurance company is investigating past data of 2 household claim assessors, A and B, used by the company. In particular, claims resulting from similar type of water damage was extracted. The following table shows the assessor's initial estimate of the cost. Now, what do we have to do? Draw a suitable diagram to represent these data so that the initial estimates of the two assessors can be compared. Now, rather than drawing it on paper, I'll just show you how would we draw it in Word. Okay, let me just so here we have Word. Okay, so if you go to insert, you have charts here. In insert you have charts here. This is what we want. We'll go to charts, and in charts we can have line plot, but we want actually dots only. Okay, so we'll go to actually I think we can do this with the lines as well. Anyways, scatter is one that is easy, and we'll be using this later as well. I'll just show you how to manipulate the scatter plot. Now, scatter plot requires x and y axis values, and it plots x value and versus y value. See, whenever you insert any chart, it will open a small Excel type of sheet here. I think you cannot see that. I will have to just give me 1 minute. Okay, so here you can see that as we insert our chart, we get such a box. Okay, this is nothing but sort of an Excel values. Here we will input our values. So what I'll do is I'll put x value as same. Let's say I will put 0.5 because I want the values to be here. Okay, so I will put 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 for each of those values. Okay, my mistake. We'll keep y value same, not x value same. We'll keep y value same. Okay, I'll just undo. We'll keep y values same. So let's say 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and you can see each value is now on a straight line. Okay, so we'll do that. For x-axis we'll input the values. So for A the values are, let's say, 4.6, then we have 6.6, then 2.8, 5.8, 2.1, 5.2, 5.9, 3.4, 7.8, 3.5, 1.6, 8.6, and 2.7. These are the values of x-axis. For y-axis, all I have to do is make sure that all of these values are 0.5. So for that, this works exactly same as Excel. Okay, but only if these boxes, this blue box and stuff is not here. So I'll just select this and I'll try to move. See, yeah, when I get this particular sign, I'll just move it away and I will drag it down till the end, and then I'll move this back here. Okay, so you can see all my values are on a straight line. This becomes nothing but our dot plot. Okay, and I can make this smaller so that my values are closer to the x-axis. So here I will say instead of y value I will just write a. Okay, so you can see the values are between 0 and 10. Scale is here, and similarly I can make one for b as well. One thing I can do is I can just copy, paste, okay. I have another here, I will name it as b, and what I have to do is I have to just change the data of this. To change just the data, what I will do is I will click general on b and I'll click right click, and as I right click I will have see here change the chart type, but we do not have to change the chart type, we have to edit the data. Okay, so we have to edit the data. I'll click on that and it will bring up that Excel chart again. This is our Excel chart. Here I will keep my y values as 0.5. I need to change my x values. I will just select these and remove. Okay, and x values I will put b values here, 3.4, 4.7, 3.6, 6.5, 3.3, 3.8, 2.4, 4.0 and 4.4. So this is nothing but our data. Okay, and we have two values less, so I will just delete these and I will bring it up here. So this becomes my b data. I'll close this. So this is how I would make dot plot if ever asked in the examination, which I do not think, but they would ask, but this is how I would make the dot plot. So an insurance company is investigating past data for two household claim assessors, A and B, used by the company in a particular claim resulting from similar type of water damage. I talked about this. When we have two assessors, then either we can have two samples from two normal distribution, or we can have two samples from the same distribution, but it is going to be a paired data, right? So here, because they are saying similar type of water damage, not the exact same houses, okay, that we are assessing, therefore we know that this is going to be two sample t-test. So here what all can we compare? So first thing is whether they are normally distributed or not. If these values are scattered in such a way that we have a concentration on one side and then we have small values going on one side, then it is not going to be a normal distribution. That means it is skewed distribution, most likely Poiseuille or something else. But when it seems like it is scattered almost the same way, equally distributed everywhere, then we would say that it is following a normal distribution. Here also we are seeing the same thing. Okay, because the sample is small, we cannot judge it very well. But if we have an extreme sample that we have all the concentration on one side and then we have small values, 111 values, ranging for a very long time, then we would say that it is not a normal distribution. Okay, then other than that, we can compare the variance. We can see that B is going only from 0 to 8 and A is going from 0 to 10, even though even then A has a larger spread. So clearly variance of A seems to be larger than variance of B. Now let's move on, although they have not asked these things, but these are the things that we can observe from it. Okay, so then they are saying you are required to perform an appropriate test to compare the mean of the assessor's initial estimate for this type of water damage. State your hypothesis clearly. We did that. We stated our hypothesis. Our hypothesis is going to be that mean of A must be equal to mean of B, that is mu A equal to mu B, and alternate is going to be not equal to. Then they are saying use your diagram in part 1 to comment briefly on the validity of your test. Okay, as I said, the first validity is going to be that they are normally distributed. Okay, so we'll say as the data seem to be spread equally for both A and B, the assumption of normal distribution seems valid. Okay, this is first. The second assumption, because variance is not given, we will assume equal variance. So we'll say the variance of A seems larger than variance of B, but the problem is we have small sample, so we will not be concluding just by looking at the diagram, but the sample is small, so we cannot say for certain, and hence the assumption of equal variance is valid. Okay, this is what our conclusion is going to be just by looking at that diagram. Okay, and C part, they are saying calculate your test statistic and specify the resulting p-value. So for calculation of our test statistic, we'll have to calculate a lot of things. We'll have to calculate our x bar. You do not need to see, you can use your what do we say, equation editor for writing x bar. So we'll have x slash bar is equal to, and I'll get x bar. Okay, or you can just write x bar as well. Okay, so notations like here, I did not use equation editor to write this mu a because it would take a longer time, so you can directly write like this. So similarly, what I'll do is I'll directly write it. So I'll say x bar is equals to, we'll find these values. So we have summation x as 60.6 divided by 13, 4.6615. Then we will also find y bar. So I press tab, y bar. Actually we have a and b, right? So instead of x bar and y bar, I'll say a bar and b bar. That would be more appropriate. Okay, b bar is equals to we have 4.4364. Okay. Then I'll calculate s a square. To write this, you can directly use equation editor. I will say s and then raised to 2 underscore a. If I press equal to space, you will see that we get sa square equal to calculate that, we'll have 1 by n minus 1, so 1 by 12 and summation x square is given as 340.92 minus 13 into our x bar square, x bar or a bar square, 4.6615 4.8696. Okay. I'll come out of the equation editor, I'll make space and I'll put another equation editor. Okay, so I have s underscore b raised to 2. Okay. B bar was 4.4364 square. SB square is 2.0301. I'll just say 02. Okay. Then we'll have to also calculate SP, our pooled variance. So again, you can skip writing the formula, but I'll write it here. For that, I'll use equation editor. For fraction, when I am going to write a detailed numerator, I prefer using our options up above. We'll have n underscore a minus 1 and you can see it takes time, so you will have to practice a lot if you are writing. So as I've said, unnecessary equations we should not write. So I would not write this in the examination because it is expected that you know the formula. You don't need to write it. So I'll find these values. I'll take answer upon 10 plus 12 will have 22. Now we do not use SP square, we use SP. So what I do is I take root of this and I directly write SP square as 1.8918 square. Now we'll have to show the test statistic. Test statistic. For this we will definitely require equation editor. It would be much easier to write it in equation editor. So this is to sample t-test. Okay, so we'll have you can write x a bar, x b bar, or you can write a bar, b bar. So I'll write a bar minus b minus mu A minus mu B, and I want all of this in the numerator, right? So I should have made the fraction before. Anyways, what I'll do is I'll make a fraction here outside. It was not outside, and I'll select this, cut, paste here. Okay. Upon we have SP divided by, now if I want that slash divided by, I'll have to put backslash and then forward slash, it will not change then, and root, for that I have backslash sqrt square root space and space, and inside I will have square root of 1 divided by NA plus 1 divided by, actually we do not have SP divided by, okay, we have SP into this, divided by N underscore B. Okay. This is our test statistic. We'll say this follows T distribution with degree of freedom as this is our test statistic. Okay, so we'll then write down our observed value, or you can just write it as T. If you don't want to write T observe, it might not look very nice in Word, just write T. That is good enough for our test statistic. So we'll find these values. Our mu A minus mu B will be 0. SP, I'll take it as answer, into root of 1 by 13 plus 1 by 11. So test statistic value, T value is 0.29044. Now although 0.29 will work as well. Now we'll find P value. So I'll say P value. The formula, when we have double sided, we have 2 into P T. Now see again, you can write these things in equation editor as well. So I'll have 2 P and I'll have T underscore, degree of freedom is going to be 22, greater than, we want this 0.29. We will go to our T distribution tables. We were at T distribution tables. So now we will look for where we would get 0.29 for 22 as our degree of freedom. So 22 degree of freedom, we can see we have 0.25, then we have 0.53, it is increasing. So clearly 0.29 is beyond 40%. Okay, so our P value is beyond 40%. I'll write that P value is greater than 0.4, or you can write 40% as well, that works too, 40%. Okay, so see, that is why in this question they had not given us alpha. Okay, if we just see, they did not say calculated for a specific significant value, because they knew that our p value is going to be so large that there is no doubt that we will accept this particular h0. Correct? So p value is large. So how do we write? Okay, we know that 40% will definitely be accepting, but this is beyond 40% as well. So always we would specify something like even at. Okay, so even at 40% level. So even if we took the level to be 40%, even then we will not be able to reject h0, right? Even at 40% level, we have insufficient evidence to reject h0. So here you can see that.
Excuse me,
Yes.
sir, you cannot see the Word document.
Okay. You cannot see the Word document. Let me just start that. Yes. Okay. So p value we wrote is greater than 40%, and we say even at 40% level we have insufficient evidence to reject h0. So what would be our final conclusion? So we'll look at the question. They asked us to assess initial estimate cost, right? The following, always read the question. You are required to perform an appropriate test to compare the mean of the assessor's initial estimate for this type of water damage. I'll not write such a long. I'll try to compress it as much as possible. So we'll say, hence the mean of the assessor's initial estimate is same. This is our conclusion. Okay, so this was actually D part, because they said state your conclusion clearly, so I'll write it as D. Okay, so this is how we write a hypothesis sum in Word. Okay, so mostly, as I've said, this is not required. This is just, I wanted to show you how we can write equations directly. So this you could have written directly, SP is equals to 1.8918. Okay, but test statistic we always show. So you can definitely write that without using equation editor, but equation editor makes it much easier for us to write. Okay. Now the third part. For the third part, you are required to perform an appropriate test to compare the variance of the assessor's initial estimate. State your hypothesis clearly. Now this is usually they do come together where, see, we assume that the variances are equal. So we should also test whether variances are equal or not. Okay, so that is what here part 3 is saying, that you are required to perform an appropriate test to compare the variance of the assessor's initial estimate. State your hypothesis clearly. Use your diagram in part 1 to comment briefly on the validity of the test. Then calculate your test statistic and specify the resulting p-value, and state your conclusion clearly, and hence comment on the further on the validity of your test in part 2. Okay, so the assumption was we have equal variance, because we have not done any test where we do not have equal variance assumption. Okay, when we have two unknown variances. Okay, two sample unknown variances. So here our h0, we have to compare the variance. h0 will be variance of A is equal to variance of B. Okay. And alternative will be not equal to, because we are not checking whether one is greater than the other or not. So h1 will have, you can do one thing, Okay, copy paste. You can copy paste from your own document, you cannot copy paste from outside your document. Okay, for not equal to, I will use equation editor, and here we have not equal to. Okay, so this was A. Then B part was, we have to talk about the validity of this test. Now for a t-test, the two assumptions that we took was they should follow normal distribution and the variance should be equal. But for variance test, the only assumption is they should follow normal distribution. So I will just copy this and paste it here, because that is all we want. Then C part, in C part we need to give the test statistic. For that we'll require SA square and SB square. That has already been calculated, so we do not need to calculate anything. So let's say test statistic, you can use equation editor. Now see, if your equation editor is stuck here, that is mostly because we have some space or something, you know, you can see that there is space after this. I will, if I if I delete that space, you can see now equation editor goes back to middle. Okay. So here we would require in equation editor, if you do not see the options of the equation, here we have these options in design. Okay, equation design, I would go for fraction, and here I will have SA square divided by, I wanted this, divided by SB square upon left sigma square divided by, for again divided by, I do not want it to make more fractional those A by B, so I always use backslash and then forward slash, so that does not go to that fractional section. Okay, I will have slash sigma raised to 2 underscore B. Okay. This follows F test. So F underscore, we have NA minus 1, so NA minus 1 comma NB minus 1, so N score B minus 1. Okay, space. So this is our test statistic. We'll calculate our test statistic. So I'll say F is equals to, okay, so because sigmas are equal, it is just SA divided by SB. So SA and SB were these. So we have 2.398. F value is 2.398. P value, now basically P value is almost same, the formula is almost same. I'll just copy this, paste it here. Okay, one thing you should remember, that for T and Z test it is mod of this. Okay, remember the formula correctly. For F test it does not matter, but you have to take one thing into consideration, always take SA to be the larger value. See, we can write SB divided by SB square divided by SA square as well, but that gives you an F value that is less than 1. We would want F value to be more than 1 to find P value in this way. Okay, so you just have to make sure that you are taking the larger value first. Okay, you could have written this as SB square upon SA square upon sigma B square upon sigma A square, and then here we would have NB minus 1 comma NA minus 1. Okay, so you'll have to remember the degree of freedom properly. So I'll just change T to F, and in degree of freedom we will have what was the, I think 12 comma 10. Okay. And I'll write here 2.398. Okay. Now we'll have to check our F value, F tables. So we have 10% F table, we'll check that first. For degree of freedom 12 comma 10. So 12 here comma 10, you can see the value is 2.284. okay, so it's nearly the same. Let's see what happens next. We are searching for 2.3. in 5% the value is 2.913. so clearly the value is between 5% and 10%. so I'll say 5% less than p value less than 10%. okay, so p value is between 5% and 10%. okay. So usually, as I said, if it was greater than 10%, we would have definitely accepted our H naught. But for our validity of type, part 2, okay, for our t-test, we need this to be correct, that the variance of A is equals to variance of B. So as I said, 10% to 1% is gray area. okay, so here gray area will take in favor of H naught. So we'll say even at 5% level we have if we do not have enough evidence to reject H naught. That is what we'll write. So we'll say at 5% level we have insufficient evidence to reject H naught. So our conclusion.
We can't.
Okay, again okay, so p value between 5% and 10%, and we said at 5% level we have insufficient evidence to reject H naught, hence variance are equal. So they also said that comment on the validity of part 2. So we'll say, so the test in part 2 is valid. Okay. Because we have equal variance. So this is how we will write our answer.
So,
yes.
so p value is twice the probability of
Twice.
F12,
Right.
So what, 10% to 20%?
Correct. 10% to 20%. I made the same mistake during this as well. This is p value is greater than 80%. Okay. So we'll say even at 80%. So it's such a good test that it is giving us, even if we reject 80% of the data, we'll still not be able to reject H naught. Okay, it's such a good test. That is what this is saying. And here we'll say at 10% level. At 10% level, we have insufficient evidence to reject H naught. Okay. So yes, 2 times. I forgot both places. We had 2 times. And I think there is fourth part as well. They are saying use your answer in part 1 to part 3 to comment on the overall comparison of the two assessors as the regarding their initial estimate of this water type damage. So we just have to say that their water damage assessment is equal. That is what we need to say, right? So where was our conclusion? Hence the mean, we'll say the mean, rather than mean, we'll say the assessment of both assessors, and you understand, right? We are saying it's the same. So we are saying the assessor's initial estimate for this.
Sir, again we connect the word doc.
So I'm saying the assessor's initial estimate for this type. So I'm just basically writing the final conclusion. This type of water damage is same. Okay, this would be our fourth part. Okay, this is how I would write the answer in the examination. It does take time, but you'll have to practice all of your questions in Word, okay, so that you get your speed. Okay, and you can see it looks so much easier, especially if I want to check whether I have made a mistake or not. It is so much easier to check in equation editor form rather than writing it in normal. If let's say I do not use equation editor, how would I write this? I'll show you. Okay, I would have said bracket for my numerator a bar minus b bar bracket minus another bracket mu a minus mu b. This is my numerator, and then divided by another bracket, say sp and sp into sqrt square root of 1 by na plus one by nb bracket close. Okay, another bracket close for the denominator follows t na plus nb minus 2. This is how we would have written, okay, without using equation editor. Okay, now in the examination they are trying the question in such a way that we would not have to write almost any equation. So what they can do is they can say that just find your test statistic and p-value without specifying the test statistic. Okay, they can say that. They can give you options. So what they do is in this question they would say this much question would be okay. Then here they will say select the correct test statistic and p-value. Okay, so they will give you 4 options for test statistic and p-value, and you'll have to select just a, b, c, d. So that ways you do not have to write this, correct? So that they definitely do. Okay, so they can, I'm not saying that they will. Okay, so that ways they're trying that you don't have to type a lot in Word, because they understand it's new for us and typing equation becomes very difficult, but we should be prepared for everything.